What it is, mommy and daddy sleuths. Welcome to the Lift the Veil experience. So welcome to the Lift the Veil investigation channel. Sorry, I'm a little late today. I had to go to town and I was investigating. I was collecting my tips from my tip line. Welcome everybody to the show. We are once again covering the ongoing saga of Candace Owens, either the hero of our time or the villain of our time. It's one or the other, pretty much. Actually, I think there's no in between on it anymore. So we are welcoming everyone to this show. We will not use the C word. Well, we might. I mean, sometimes we do, but just for fun. But we're not going to call Candace Owens the C word today. We are going to investigate from all sides, and we will engage with mommy and daddy sleuths in the chat who choose to tune in. Today, I listened to the whole show from Candace Owens to make sure that I had context. My ex-wife really likes Candace Owens. So I know somebody personally who is totally into the whole thing and calls me names because I don't know what the hell's going on that channel. But that makes me, I need to be open to all of it. So I had a discussion with a real life fan today. So I know what so I feel like I have the connection needed to understand the mind of the fan and also the mind of the skeptic, the Candace skeptic. So I'm open to all minds. I'll play you clips. I still have an opinion, but I'm open to be proven wrong. So we are going to talk about it today. The big news today is that Erika Kirk has been going on a book tour for Charlie Kirk's book about being Jewish, kind of, which is kind of ironic, right? Because we think, or people think the Jews did it. Some people, like Ian Carroll, and some people who think that. I don't know what Candace Owens thinks. There are lots and lots of subjects or suspects from the side of Candace Owens. Ian Carroll and some others still think the Jews did it. But Charlie Kirk was kind of Jewish, turns out. He was writing a book about the Sabbath. You saw it. Make It Known AI. I know what you're talking about. If I hadn't watched the whole show, I wouldn't know you were talking about. Don't go Max, get the vax. Candace 19. See, I know. I did my research. The person I was talking to about Candace Owens today was like, you don't watch the show. I was like, I try to watch the show, but I can't, I'm not interested. Like, I don't understand what she's talking about. So I try to watch the show. I do just watch clips. That's what people accuse you of. If you're skeptical, they're like, you don't watch the show. I'm like, what is she talking about? I don't understand. Like, I try to watch the show because I have to report on it and stuff. I watch clips, just like I watch clips of everything and then pretend I'm well informed. But anyway, today we consumed the whole show just to make sure we understand everything. So we're going to talk about it from a base of knowledge and information. We believe we've done the research. I haven't watched every minute of every show. Well, she broadcasts right when I'm getting ready to go live. Okay, so anyway, the news. Let's see if I'm following the appropriate format. The news started today because Erika Kirk was on a Fox show live, and she finally said something about the conspiracy theorists. She didn't mention Candace Owens, but obviously she was talking about Candace Owens. But there are others too. There are others. and she went nuclear on him. That was how the day started, for me at least, in my research path. Then the day went on my way back from town today. I listened to Candace Owens respond as if Erika Kirk was talking about her. So I know the response now. So I could have called this a number of things. I called it mind virus because I thought that was an interesting way to put it. That's what Erika Kirk used. But I could have said cat fight, which also because Candace snapped back. So now it's on, basically. Gloves are off. Gloves are off. I could have gone with that too. Gloves are off. Cat fight. Candace versus Erika. Cage match to the death because they're actually now attacking each other, which was previously kind of off limits. I think the ladies were trying to be ladylike and not directly attack each other. Candace would just make insinuations. Previously, Ben Shapiro claimed to Megyn Kelly that Candace was accusing Erika Kirk of being involved in the death. And then she hadn't actually done that, but she has been making insinuations. You can't deny that. So Candace clapped back today on her show. So we have two people not arguing, not talking to each other, but about each other in cyberspace and on network television too, or cable television. Erika Kirk has been doing a lot of media because she's on a book tour for Charlie's book about Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, the Sabbath, the Jewish Sabbath, which he apparently celebrated. And actually, when I say celebrate, you don't really celebrate the Sabbath. You actually kind of don't celebrate. You kind of do the opposite. You take a break from things. So she's promoting that book. So Charlie Kirk liked the Jewish Sabbath. I think there's something to the Sabbath too. I don't do it. I look at Twitter every day, or I watch. Like if I was going to take a Sabbath day, well, then I wouldn't be able to watch football. So, I wouldn't be able to look at Twitter and gather information for my show. So I don't take it right now, but I'm kind of a lonely person. I go to the coffee shop and stuff and hang out by myself. So I need my phone. It's my companion, but I don't see anything wrong with the Sabbath. The Sabbath is good. I think it's a decent tradition. And I think the original day maybe was Saturday. Maybe the Romans picked Sunday because it was more pagan to celebrate on Sunday. I think maybe the day is supposed to be Saturday. I think that's what the Seventh-day Adventists believe also, is that we're supposed to do Mass and everything on Saturday, really like the Jews were right, for example. So anyway, I'm going to cover that news. I'm going to play video clips. Tucker Carlson also weighed in today. That's also news. That's what Jimmy Dore led with. He's on Team Candace for sure. And now Tucker Carlson is basically on Team Candace as well. So, and he had not weighed in previously. He was on, oh my God, I'm not going to remember. Theo Von. He was on Theo Von's show. And he made a video himself. But what he said on Theo Von's show actually sums it up, what he thinks. So Tucker Carlson came out, weighed in on the controversy today. And Tim Pool continues to be unhinged. Nick Fuentes says he's going to get involved. So we have people attacking each other, supporters attacking each other, many people on Twitter now coming out, including like Benny Johnson, who made a milquetoast video about the Candace Owens drama, like the assassination attempt, which he clearly didn't believe. He made a video about it to get clicks and didn't actually have an opinion about it. He just made a video about it. It was like, oh, but he clearly didn't believe the assassination attempt was real. Now he's come out kind of suggesting that he's on the other side, the other team, which is mostly men, mostly male influencers. Everybody on Team Shapiro weighed in today against Candace Owens in some form or another. So we're following it. We're following the drama. It is the biggest story, I guess, in the world, I guess, whatever. So anyway, that's one news story we're going to cover today. I am checking out the chat. Mike says, I thought the big news today was the lowering of the Fed rate, the lowest in 3 years. I can cover that a little bit. Normally I would talk about finance. So I'll talk a little bit about financial news, and I'll play you a financial news video. I am a conspiracy theorist about the economy. I might be a conspiracy theorist about NVIDIA and OpenAI, in that I think they might both kind of crash and burn. Candace, Nick needs a new suit. Fuentes, G Milo, yay. Tim Pool, Laura, not really news, is it? Well, is it? Am I just farming for clicks for people to tune in because I know that people like drama more than real news because I've tested it? You be the judge. The algorithm changes things. It changes us. It changes how we act. It changes our behavior. We are all slaves to the AI already, the AI algorithm. We cannot help it. We are manipulated. Yes, the Fed lowered rates today. I can certainly talk about that. Other big news today, we seized an oil tanker off of Venezuela today. So big escalation in Venezuela today. So I can show you some of that news. I covered Donald Trump's speech last night, which I thought went horribly, if he wanted to win anybody over on the affordability thing. So I can certainly talk about that. I suffered through the whole thing, waiting for the news. So I can cover that a little bit too, and just give my opinion. What else happened in the news today? Oh, we have some AI news. Elon Musk made some news. Elon Musk is having nightmares about AI, even though he's predicting the utopian future. He's actually kind of worried about it, which thank God, because it's a very scary future we're headed towards. So I have a little clip of that as well. A few clips from Elon Musk. Okay. I think that's all. I have more just in case it comes up. I have more just in case it comes up. Price of things, price of cars, for example, price of silver, for example. Lots of different things. So thanks for tuning into the show. You are blessed. I'm blessed. I'm blessed that you're here, that I have your attention, even if it is fleeting, even if this life is short. I'm blessed to have these times with you. Here we go. Okay, cue musical intro. Boy, that's brilliant. I do think some things in the world are real. Like you guys. You guys are real. Most of you. Most of my listeners, I think, are not just in my head. I think I have the metrics to prove it. You've taken a leap of faith today. What is that sound? And I apologize if you take offense. I'm a little offended myself. Welcome to our show. Welcome to the future. What it is, joining you live from sunny California. It's a beautiful day today. I'm your host, Nathan Stoltman. And I bring news, the real news. Yes, something like the real news today. And if you want to support this show, my goodness, while I was tuned into Candace, I saw the super chats pour in. That does make me envious. Some people are operating probably out of envy a little bit that she's making so much money being on the Charlie Kirk conspiracy. If you want to support this show, you would be a rare bird. You could go to buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil. I am not monetized, which means I'm more real. I'm not monetized on YouTube, although I reapplied. My whole channel was banned. Conspiracy theories used to be illegal on YouTube. I'm one of the OG conspiracy theorists on YouTube. Started in 2015. Moon landing. Candace talks about the moon landing. Long time ago. Made some big videos about moon landings being fake. 9/11, other false flags, etc. Been there, done that. So I am a conspiracy theory expert, although my views have moderated over time. So I feel uniquely qualified to comment on conspiracy theorists and what their mindset might be. If you want to support the show, please go to buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil and drop a coffee or 3 to help us cover our broadcasting expenses. Or even better, get something for yourself. We're having a clearance sale at our store, truthclothing.io. Oops, let me find it, which is right here, which is rapidly selling out because of our prices, where you can buy the shirt I'm wearing is sold out. You can buy a top quality t-shirt, baseball jersey, or slouchy. Hopefully we get some women tuned in. We have several styles in the women's versions, which I'll point out. Question everything. Lift the veil, never normal. We still have in a slouchy. But we have several slouchy styles that looks like still in the women's. Get them before they're sold out, because we are selling out of many things. So while we have your size, our shirts are priced predominantly at $5 and $10. I'm wearing a propaganda shirt today. This was a popular one. I think we only have one of these left in the baseball jersey. Then we have men's shirts too. We have lots of cryptocurrency shirts, Bitcoin, crypto future, some for $10, some for $5. Most things on the website are $5 and $10. Most people buy in volume. So I suggest you get there while they're still there. We plan to be sold out soon. Truthclothing.io. And just a reminder, those links are always streaming across the bottom of the feed. Okay. Okay, let's get to the news. Erika Kirk. Erika Kirk on Fox. Okay. Here we go.
From the perspective of a grieving widow, a mom, and a battle-tested American. Good to see you again today. Talk to me about this part of the conspiracies that are out there, this disturbing part that people are trying to guess where Charlie is.
Can I have one thing? Can I have one thing?
Okay, this is about the burial. I was kind of looking at the chat, so I wasn't sure if it was clear. This is about the burial. And Candace Owens addressed this on the show today. And I thought what Candace said was kind of out of line, actually, in my opinion. So she asked her where the body is buried because Milo, who's just a chaos agent, basically, who doesn't always tell the truth, I'm very certain, claims that Charlie Kirk was never buried. So I believe this question is about where is he buried? Okay, got it?
And a battle-tested American. Good to see you again today. Talk to me about this part of the conspiracies that are out there, this disturbing part that people are trying to guess where Charlie is.
Can I have one thing? Can I have one thing? Can my children have one thing? Everything was public. We will be building the most beautiful memorial for my husband at Turning Point USA, and it will be for the world to see, and it will be spectacular, and it will have basically museum style for our Charlie, for my Charlie. But can I have one thing? Can my babies have one thing where we hold it sacred, where my husband is laid to rest, where I don't have to be worried about some secular revolutionary coming and destroying my husband's grave while my daughter is sitting there praying? One thing. This is my husband. Yes, he was Charlie Kirk to the world, and I know so many people love my husband, and I am grateful for that. But this is my husband, and I want to be able to have one thing left that is sacred to our family, to my in-laws, to my babies, and to my parents. One thing.
What are they taking from you right now?
Nothing.
Okay, I'll comment on that. I see. Someone said Candace took the gloves off on this lying hoe. Well, she does not want people to know where Charlie Kirk is buried because the grave could be defaced. Obviously, she wants to be able to go there in peace. She claims she wants her children to be able to go there in peace, especially if someone's spreading conspiracy theories about her. She doesn't want people harassing her while she goes to her husband's grave. In this man's humble opinion, that's fair. In Candace Owens' opinion, which I don't have a clip of, it's not fair. As proof of it not being fair, so Candace demands that Erika Kirk reveal where Charlie Kirk is buried to put that conspiracy to rest, because Erika Kirk made an Instagram video of herself crying over the corpse, which was kind of, I don't know what you want to call it, maybe not in good taste or kind of over the top or what have you. She chose to release a video on Instagram of herself crying, some might say theatrically, over the corpse of her dead husband. And she certainly did not need to do that. And actually it's weird to me. So as far as like Erika Kirk goes, I think she's very strange. Extremely strange. She's chosen to do things which are kind of weird and a little performative. The whispering creeps me out when she does that. The first thing she did when she went on the show and made a statement about it and the whispering and stuff, really weird. She's a strange person. However, I think she makes a fair point, and I don't think she owes it to anybody to reveal the private burial site of her husband. That's my opinion. I don't think she owes it to anybody. If you want to say Candace is kind of evil and stuff, like demanding that she do that just to satisfy Candace's questions, I think, like, what's that? I don't understand that myself, but I'm sure people do. But that's the drama. That's the drama I heard on Candace's show today. And I was like, for one thing, didn't Candace Owens say that if Erika told her to stop, she would? Can anybody confirm that? Didn't Candace Owens say very early on in the investigation that if Erika told her to stop, that she would? She's basically telling her to stop. And Candace is like, no, bitch. We ain't stopping now. Money's rolling in. We got 1 million people hooked on this thing. And now she is basically throwing a lot of shade at Erika. And she did that really offensive thing where she showed private text messages and she was like, oh, I was talking to Charlie about his girlfriend who he was in love with, about his outfit. She shared that like total story about helping Charlie Kirk pick out clothes for some girl he was in love with, supposedly, who wasn't his wife and who he was dating sometime in proximity to meeting his wife. That was kind of fucked up. Like, I'm not gonna, like, that was kind of fucked up. If you really respect Erika. So Candace Owens has put on an act where she's like, oh, I respect Erika Kirk and all this stuff. And clearly she doesn't, because she's willing to throw shade at pretty much anybody. So that's what happened on her show today.
But I will tell you what they are doing. It reminds me so much of chapter 6 in the book of Nehemiah. He is building a wall, and the townspeople are at the base of that hill saying, Nehemiah, calling him all these names, saying all these things, come on down. Every single time he had the same message 4 times in a row. I cannot come down. I am busy building. That is how I feel. I do not have time to address the noise. My silence does not mean that I am complacent. My silence does not mean that somehow Turning Point USA and all of the handpicked staff that loved my husband and my husband loved them is somehow in on it. We are busy building. And you know what I thought? I thought these people are human. We are all grieving.
Okay, is she talking about, because I couldn't understand this 100%. Has Candace Owens like challenged her to I guess she did, right? Is that what she's talking about when she says she doesn't have time? So like she doesn't have time to talk to Candace Owens. Is that what she's talking about? Like she's too busy? Because Candace gave her a hard time about that today too. She was like, you don't seem too busy. You're doing all kinds of media and unnecessary travel and stuff. Candace should show up to that stupid thing in Phoenix. And if that date doesn't work with her for some reason, and we know it's not her husband's birthday, if that date doesn't work for some reason, she should propose another date, tell them to keep it secret so she can keep her security or whatever, so she doesn't get killed by Jonathan Schmidt, who's probably going to sue the shit out of her if he's a real person. If she really is concerned, she should show up to that stupid thing. And I understand they could have her virtually, but in the sense that they're not, she should show up to that stupid thing and just like have it out, because it's really annoying for people to talk about each other, because it puts both of them in their own safe space. They're able to go off on whatever tangent, whatever evidence they think they have and not be challenged on it. And her live stream, that's super lame. And commenting on it, that's super lame. Because obviously it's going to take all of the viewers and go over to Candace's channel. And she's going to be able to present whatever the hell she wants, which can't be challenged. And it's just very safe. It's very safe, spacey, very kind of whatever. I mean, if we're going to fight, let's do it. Like, let's get it on. Let's stop just talking about one another. So I hope that she takes that opportunity. She hasn't talked about it much lately. She did say she was going to beg her husband to go, which I thought was the right thing to do, but I haven't heard anything about it since. So thanks, not me. We'll bring you real news. For those who do not care about drama, I appreciate you the most. We will get to real news after this is over. We shall cover what the people want, what the algorithm wants.
Living in our own way, and they are trying to find the answer to something that happened that was so evil. They are trying so hard, and I get that. We're doing the same. Anytime we hear a lead or anytime we hear anything, we send it to the authorities. Please dig into this. No rock will be unturned. I want justice for my husband, for myself, for my family, more than anyone else out there. So for me, you want to keep telling me to come down while we're building? I don't have time for that.
Can someone tell me what she's talking about? What is, like, who's asking her to come down while they're building? I haven't heard Candace Owens ask her to come on her show. Has she done that? Somebody tell me who knows more than me. I know there are some Candace followers here. I see them say Team Candace. I saw the Go Max Get the Vax, which I know was from today's show. What is she? Is that what she's saying? To come down while I'm busy? Has Candace asked her to come down? Or is it just that she wants her to show up for that confrontation? Because Candace was like, if Erika's going to be there, I'll be there.
But here's my breaking point on that. Come after me, call me names, I don't care. Call me what you want, go down that rabbit hole, whatever. But when you go after my family, my Turning Point USA family, my Charlie Kirk show family, you go after the people that I love, and you're making hundreds and thousands of dollars every single episode going after the people that I love because somehow they're in on this. No.
You know, I have to say it. I've never seen you like this.
No, this is righteous anger because this is not okay. It's not healthy. This is a mind virus. Yes, I believe in our judicial system. I do. We have a hell of a team working on this. Excuse my French. But this is not okay.
Not French.
So you want to put these people back in the box where they've been creeping from?
I don't care what box you're in. But just know that your words are very powerful and we are human. My team are not machines and they're not robots. They are human. We have more death threats on our team and our side than I have ever. I have kidnapping threats. I have, you name it, we have it. And my poor team is exhausted. And every time they bring this back up, what are we supposed to do? Relive that trauma all over again? They watched my husband get murdered. I have no idea how I would have reacted if I was there that day. And thank the good Lord that I did not have to see that happen. But my team, they are rocked to the core. So why every single day do they have to be dragged through the mud, analyzed, hyper-analyzed?
You know, the conspiracies that are out there, all of the like, do you think that there is more of it now because you do shine your light? I mean, did people just expect you would just go away?
I don't know what they expected. I don't know what they expected.
They pick on you because of your accessories. I mean, I've seen some of it.
Oh, yeah. No, at this point,
People
it's
in the
what the
chat are doing
conspiracy
that right
collection. Get it before Christmas. Like, seriously, you will, if you want to find and pick me apart, go right ahead. I do not care. I don't. This was happening before Charlie was murdered. Both of us have been through the ringer of people will call you whatever they want to call you.
There you go. That's the longest clip that was posted today from this show. Outnumbered on the bottom of the screen. Somebody was asking. That's the name of the show, I guess. It was live. It was on Fox, on cable, Fox News channel. People are commenting in the chat about eyelash extensions. Many superficial comments. Taking Erika apart. Candace Owens says, like, she shouldn't be the CEO because she's a woman, partially. And actually, like, yeah, she basically said she shouldn't be the CEO. But I don't know. I think Charlie Kirk probably wanted her to be. Like, I don't dispute that that's fact. But maybe Candace is disputing that's fact. If it isn't true that Charlie wanted her to be CEO, then it is kind of whack. Gold digging hoe. I mean, what do you guys think? Like, people think like she did it she married him for the fame and stuff. All of these marriages are weird. Candace's is way weirder. I mean, if you want to get into spouses, her husband, like the way they got married, super weird. Like rumors that he's gay, quite possibly. I don't know a straight guy that would marry somebody because they found them, what did he say? He found her like powerful or something and then didn't ever go on a date with her, proposed over a Zoom chat. Weird, super weird, strange spouses. So as long as people are going after famous people, so anyway, that's Erika. That's what she said today. That's the news. I see some people want to move on from this news. I know. And to those people, I do apologize. I know it might be too much, but it's the thing. It has to do with politics in a sideways way, basically, because if it has to do with the survival of Turning Point at this point, which many people say was one of the reasons Donald Trump got elected. Many people say Turning Point USA really helped get Donald Trump elected and helped rally the youth who hate Donald Trump right now, pretty much. So it is political, and this show does cover politics. So Tim Pool blames Candace Owens for Republicans losing everything, including the midterms coming up. And they are losing literally everything. I can cover that in real news. Okay, so that's what she said. I'll close the tab so we don't have to think about it anymore. Candace Owens is kind of like excited about it and made this glamorous Instagram promo for her show. It's interesting the way she's handling it. So I'll play that just so you.
Okay, super fun show today.
Super.
You're
fun.
probably seeing the clips, but Erika has gone off on conspiracy theorists. Obviously, every journalist out there is emailing me because it's about me. It's indirect, but it's also about me. And don't worry, in case you think it's not about me, she is going to name check me on stage with Barry Weiss on Saturday. How do we know? Because our mommy sleuths be everywhere. And they recorded the town hall today. And as soon as the town hall concluded, we got a flutter of emails. And what she says about the Egyptian planes, I'm sorry, not going to lie, it's a little suspicious. It's weird. It's a weird response.
Everything.
So look, we got to go there. Okay, super fun show.
Candace Owens' entire investigation is because it's weird. You're weird, Candace, honestly. Like, you're a little weird. You have to admit. Okay, let me skip to, I have to decide what to tell you guys about. I think she's going to get sued. Most likely, unless what she's saying is true. The craziest thing, one of the craziest things, besides the idea that the French government is going to kill her, is that there's some Israeli guy living in who moved to Nashville, according to her sleuths, who's going by a different name, working for a real company that really exists in Tennessee. I looked it up. It does exist. I don't understand. But if she's identifying a real person and she's also identifying this company, and she has millions of crazed followers who she's asking to do things for her, then I don't see how this one doesn't turn into something crazy. I will play it. I will play it. I'll play what she says, because this is a lawsuit. There may be several lawsuits waiting to happen. For one thing, she said Tim Pool's brother shot at her. That's an actionable thing for Tim to sue over. He says he is going to sue her. We'll see. If it's not true, which Tim claims it's not. This thing about these, if you haven't heard this, she claims basically that if it's, I tried to look this person up on LinkedIn, couldn't find him. But I'll play this conspiracy theory because this is the one most likely to end up in another lawsuit. And as much as I'd like to think Macron's wife is a dude, I think she may really lose that lawsuit as well because it hasn't been thrown out. And she might just actually be a female. And I don't know if they'd go forward with it if they didn't have, or if they weren't willing to show evidence. And it's not that hard to show evidence if she is a female. So, which I don't know how much money it's for, but she might lose that lawsuit. And then I think this is a lawsuit waiting to happen, assuming she's identifying a real person. If he's not an Israeli assassin for real, then they're going to sue the fuck out of her, this company and this person. So I'll play that clip.
He spoke about this Pierre in Scottsdale, and I had mentioned that he had a partner. Pierre Falcone had a partner named Arkady Gaydamak. Didn't expect that to be relevant to anything, but they were both involved in Angola Gate, which was global trafficking at the highest levels of government. But this Arkady Gaydamak didn't show up for his court hearing, and he just was sentenced in absence for trafficking weapons, et cetera, et cetera. I explained to you that he was born in Russia, and then when Israel became a nation, he was first over there. He was also factually, and you can see in this article, a French intelligence agent. Okay. Why am I bringing up Gaydamak? Well, after yesterday's episode, I had asked if anybody had anything or knew anything about, Turning Point potentially working with this Pierre person. I was shocked when a flutter of emails came in from people saying that they believed Gaydamak was living in Nashville, that he moved here sometime in June. Okay. And when I say a flurry of emails that came in, there were 7 people, mostly men, who were certain that that man, aged now, is working in Nashville using the name Jonathan Schmidt. They are certain, at the very least, that he is from Israel and that he is working for a company known as Root Brands under the guise of being a technology officer, and that he has brought in and secured jobs for Ukrainians. And again, this has all transpired since apparently June.
Thing too.
Ukrainians who he alleges are running from the war. They say he was brought in by a businessman in town named Clay Thomas, and that one of the Ukrainians that is working with him, his name is Alex Smirnov. Now, I don't know what to say other than I am positively terrified. I don't know who to contact, considering the feds. I've been telling them that there's an assassination attempt in coordination. I have said Israel, I have said France, and now I have dealt with, I have these emails, more credible information. And if it's incorrect, I'm happy to correct it. I reached out to Clay Thomas. I have reached out to Root Brands, and I have requested more information about this Russian Israeli employee who is using the name Jonathan Schmidt and bringing in Ukrainians. And so instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to publicize this information in the hope that if you are a Tennessean and you live in Franklin and you live in Nashville and you are familiar with Root Brands and you have seen this man, and Skylar, I don't know if we have an aged photo of him, but we should try to find one. Please, first off, you should probably contact the authorities. I certainly will be doing that. I think my husband has already done that. I told him to do that this morning. I have definitively run that to the only office that has responded, and I think taken my threat, or has wanted to respond, I should say, to the threat that I've been saying about the French intelligence agencies working with Israel. And that is Tulsi Gabbard's office. I am doing everything that I can, but I am telling you that this is very scary. And if you are in Tennessee, if you know this Jonathan Schmidt and you've seen him around town, if you're a real estate agent, they said he was shopping for a home in the Brentwood area. If you have seen this individual anywhere in Nashville, for the love of God, please send us an email, moretips@candaceowens.com. And I am encouraging you to contact your authorities if you are hearing any sob stories from anyone about how they're coming in from Ukraine and that they're fleeing the war. Okay. I think you should contact the authorities immediately. We don't need to have a presence of Ukrainians that are quote unquote fleeing the war in Tennessee. And, I trust the Tennesseans to get this done and to pay attention. And I want to say this, by the way, everywhere in America, I've heard there's a major influx of Ukrainians, quote unquote, fleeing that are building up and worried about you guys. That is something to be very concerned about. Okay. Because it is during wars where the most dangerous people are allowed into other countries under the guise of being refugees. That is how they take over other countries. And you need to keep your eyes and your ears peeled for how these Ukrainian, quote unquote, refugees are organizing. I don't think there's a reason for any Israeli intelligence and French intelligence officers to be here in Nashville. So again, if you know something, please email us, moretips@candaceowens.com. If you work for the local FBI department, you should have been hearing from us. But if you would like to directly contact us, please email us. We will be looking out. And like I said, Root Brands apparently is who has hired this individual under the guise of working under a technology officer. He's supposed to be a billionaire. So why would he be working at all? If this is the correct individual.
If it's the correct individual.
I'm not buying the name Jonathan Schmidt. I will say that.
What do you mean you're not buying it?
Or an Israeli who should be living in Tel Aviv. And I do not believe he's legally allowed to be in this country. So at the very least, perhaps also if you are watching this and you are an ICE agent or a Border Patrol agent, please get involved. I will have more for you hopefully in the coming days. But this is very scary.
There you go. So I don't know. That's insane. She's saying people need to call the authorities on any Ukrainians they see. I mean, she reminds me of George Webb. That's who she reminds me of. George Webb, who shut down a port in North Carolina because he was doing something just like her, crowdsourcing the truth. It was called crowdsource the truth. This was done once before. It ended very badly. George Webb and Jason Goodman did a show together called Crowdsource the Truth. It's very similar what she's doing. It's no surprise that George Webb is amongst her allies. He also lays out conspiracy theories that are impossible to comprehend. George Webb, impossible to comprehend. He just says name after name and place after place, and he expects you to just go along with it. And it's just never ending. But George Webb and Jason Goodman got a tip, just like she gets tips, from somebody who said there was a nuclear device on board a vessel that was docking at a port, and called it into the authorities and got a port shut down, a United States port shut down because they took some tip. It was totally not true. So she said she did the right thing by reaching out to Root Brands and asking if there's a guy. I tried to do a little research and just find out if there is a Jonathan Schmidt that works for Root Brands. This is Root Brands. It's some kind of I don't know if they'd even have a technology officer. It's not a technology company. This is the Root Brands. This could easily be the basis of a lawsuit, though. It's getting crazy out there. Oh, baby, I like it raw. Do I believe Isaac Cappy killed himself? I believe the preponderance of evidence suggests that he did. If I wanted to get a lot of views on YouTube, like the Phoenix Enigma, who's a friend of mine, I would cover the conspiracy theory of Isaac Cappy's death. I have an idea of what maybe drove him to do it, but I think he fell off a bridge. He might have done it by accident, but sometimes I believe the official story, unfortunately, to my own detriment. But anyway, so that's that. I see a lot of people complaining, but I also know some people are engaged and they're here to understand this stuff. So that was part of it that I don't understand. Let me just play you Tucker Carlson weighing in, okay, because people are interested in this. Tucker Carlson weighing in on the Charlie Kirk assassination. Everybody's talking about it, so don't blame me. I'm just trying to cover it and try to be like a little sensible about it. Has it gone too far? Yeah, I think so. Without any evidence? Yeah, I think so, to be honest. But millions of people don't think it has gone nearly far enough yet. So I'm curious how long it'll go on for. Here is Tucker Carlson weighing in on it. Another kind of long clip, but I'll play it for you. You won't be able to say you weren't informed.
Who was Charlie Kirk?
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
really?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that.
And I love his wife and know his wife well. And so I feel emotional about it. So, I just haven't wanted everything to do with it. But I will say a couple of things. I don't understand the official story at all.
Of his assassination?
I don't understand it. And I want to make sure that there is a truly rigorous and honest federal investigation of it. And I'm definitely concerned about that. A. B, I think that I don't know many of the details, but I know that recently Candace said that Egyptian registered aircraft were following Erika Kirk, Charlie's widow, around for a number of years in different places in the world. That's one of the weirdest things I've ever heard. And I just want to say that is factually true. That's true. So that's like the one data point that I happen to know is true.
So this is the convoluted world we live in. The Egyptian plane story, I don't understand. Apparently there were Egyptian planes following Charlie Kirk, according to Candace, and now according to Tucker too. But I saw many comments with screenshots of evidence, which who the hell even knows what evidence is anymore, to be honest. Because to be fair, the feds have a lot of evidence about the gay furry guy, if people believe them, but people choose not to believe them. I mean, to be honest, they have all the evidence they need that they got the right guy if they're not lying. But people assume without evidence that they're lying and the text messages are fake, etc. They speculate. But I saw some people say the Egyptian planes have been debunked. So I don't know if what he's saying is true or not. I saw people post evidence, charts showing that like the planes weren't following Erika. The Egyptian planes weren't following Erika Kirk. So I don't even know. Tucker says the Egyptian planes are real though, so that's important.
What does that mean? I have literally no idea. I can't even guess, but that's very, very strange.
And what is Egyptian? It could mean aircrafts from Egypt. Who knows?
I think that they were registered in Egypt.
Got it.
And but that fact is true. So enough. And it also her claim that, there were kind of a disproportionately large number of foreign registered cell phones at the event. That's also true. So what does that add up to? I don't know, but it means that, the FBI has a moral and legal obligation to look in every direction and to be open-minded as you would in any investigation, in journalism, in science. It's all the same process. I don't know the answer, and I'm going to sift through everything as open-mindedly as I can, as honestly as I can, to get to what the truth is. That's science, that's law enforcement, that's journalism. It's all the same. That's justice. And I just want to make sure that is happening. And I just don't have a ton of confidence in the FBI or the men who run it. And I'm not saying that out of ignorance at all.
That's a scary part too.
What Candace is saying is clearly causing a lot of turmoil. Is it true or not? I can't assess it. I'm not the FBI. I'm a freaking podcaster, but I do know how the system works, and it's really simple. The FBI has this case, and of course, the state of Utah. It's their job to not only find out what happened, but present it to the public in a way that restores some confidence that you can have justice in this country, that we have functioning law enforcement. I don't have confidence in that because there's a lot of evidence that we don't have that. So restore confidence by being honest and telling a story that makes sense. So why, and if they don't do that, and they haven't done that, they have not done that, how can you be mad at Candace Owens or anyone else for filling a vacuum that they left?
Yeah.
Well, Candace is okay. No, the people with the authority are the ones responsible, and they're the ones who should be held responsible when there's a failure. Not some podcaster, not me, not you, not Candace, the people whose job it is. And their default assumption was we acted alone. Really? Why do you think that? What about life suggests that people typically act alone? When was the last time you acted alone in anything? I don't go, right? So A. B, we know that people had foreknowledge of this because they posted about it on X and said Charlie Kirk is going to be killed on this date, and he was.
Is that true?
Yes, it's true.
But were they just guessing? Was it a guessing thing where every day they posted that?
Maybe. Have those people been interviewed? Have they been hauled into FBI HQ and had a long conversation with how they knew that? Like, let's get really specific. Why did you post that? Who have you talked to? Like, if I were doing this investigation, because I spent my whole life doing non-criminal investigations called journalism, like, what do we know is true? How do we find out? Call everybody, be open-minded. It's like it's the same process. If I was doing this investigation, they would be at the very top of the list. We know, because we've got public postings on Twitter that people know, just like on 9/11. We know people bet against American Airlines and the banks that were in the World Trade Centers.
Lots of evidence.
They shorted those stocks.
9/11. Lots of
those
evidence.
people clearly had foreknowledge of 9/11. Who were those people? We still don't know.
Dancing Israelis.
So I would start there.
But so you're
Art
saying that
students.
just the fact that there could possibly be some foreknowledge should be
Well,
investigated.
there was foreknowledge because
Okay.
I saw the tweets.
Got
And so I saw at least two that said, everything's going to change when Charlie Kirk gets to the college in Utah.
Okay.
So those people, I'm not saying they're a part of a conspiracy, but there's evidence that they had foreknowledge. Okay. So that's where you begin. And then I could go on. Like, tell me how this guy who seemed normal became a radical trans furry murderer. It's not enough to tell me, oh, trans. I'm not pro-trans, by the way.
But was that the guy or his boyfriend?
Well, exactly right. Tell me how this guy became so radicalized that he murdered a stranger. I'm not saying it didn't happen.
I
I'm
agree.
saying I want an explanation for how it happened. Why wouldn't I?
I agree.
But why do people like Candace so much? She's an amazing broadcaster. Yes. Because they sense in her, she might be wrong. Is she lying to me? Not on purpose. They sense the purity of her intent. That's the truth. And I can say, as someone who's dealt with government officials my whole life, I'm not vouching for everything Candace claims. I don't even know a lot of what she claims because I'm working on other stuff. And it makes me sad also. But the point is, do I trust Candace more than I trust your average DOJ official? Are you joking? It's not even close, dude.
Yeah.
There you go. So pretty much pretty much full support for Candace Owens, which I'm sure people are upset at him about, the people who don't like conspiracy theories. I like conspiracy theories. And I think also that Candace Owens may be acting completely out of her, like, she might totally believe everything she's saying. So I'm not going to call her a lying C word like Tim Pool. But the fighting is fun. The fighting is fun, I have to say. So anyway, that's it. I'm going to move on, as some people have suggested, to the real news. Every time I do a podcast, I put the title and then I say, and more real news. So we're going to talk about real news. Before I move on, I have a clip of Nick Fuentes threatening to go after Candace Owens, to expose Candace Owens if Turning Point USA doesn't do a good enough job. And that's coming up soon. It's the 10th, 5 days. 5 days until TPUSA. I don't know what they're going to show. I don't even know how to debunk her because she doesn't show any of the evidence that she claims she has. She has anonymous sources that she says she vetted that are telling her things that she repeats. but I don't know how to debunk it. I don't even know how. Like, how do you say this military guy, like she was just talking to, isn't telling the truth if you don't know who the military guy is? Like, how do you debunk someone just asking questions with evidence that's proprietary to her and she doesn't show? Like, she hasn't shown the evidence of the assassination. If the FBI isn't looking into it, it isn't taking it seriously. Well, I know we can't trust the FBI, but maybe she hasn't shown them any evidence that it's true. I don't know. Don't know. It is okay to ask questions, but she's gone beyond asking questions. She's asking her followers to actively do things like go after this guy who supposedly is using a different name, which is a very common name, and works for this company, which is a real company, and also to report any strange Ukrainians. I mean, she's asking people to literally do things. It's not just asking questions. She's asking her followers to actively do things at this time. So anyway, Nick Fuentes says he's going to expose her if they don't do a good enough job. I would be worried about that. He's a very good researcher. He did quite a job on Tucker Carlson when he went out of his way to expose him. So whatever he's planning, if I were her, I'd be a little concerned. When he does something, he puts his mind to it. He's a lot smarter than Candace Owens. He's an idiot in a lot of ways, but he does bring evidence. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But he did bomb on Piers Morgan big time. Nick Fuentes. He came off like a retard, and he claims he won, but it wasn't a very good interview. It was probably his worst interview ever. He came off like a punk, basically. Then went on a show claiming he dominated, but I don't think he dominated. So everybody's got different sides. We take different sides. We're not here to defend or attack anybody. We're just here to report on what's going on. So that's it. That's all I'm going to say. I could say more, but I'm not going to. Okay. Breathe in, breathe out. I will say that gas prices are way down. Just for news that I can report on based on personal experience, it's actually kind of insane how much gas prices have gone down just since the last time I filled up. So Donald Trump did his speech last night. So we're going to move on. We're going to talk about the war in Venezuela. We can talk about the Fed rate cut. We can maybe talk about silver. We're going to talk about Donald Trump's speech, then cover AI a little bit, talk about the crash and stuff. We'll see if we can do the weave. Kira says gas prices down where? Well, I'll tell you, here in the central coast of California near San Luis Obispo, gas prices went from $4.50 to under $4 in a matter of weeks, it seems like, to me at least. I watch gas prices when I drive past gas stations. I was shocked to see gas is under $4 here in California, which might sound insane, but it was $4.50 just recently, and it had gone down since Trump was president. But it really went down, which makes me think like we might be in a depression or something. I mean, gas prices go down because of lack of demand. So I'm a little concerned that gas is so much less than it was just recently, but we'll see. Donald Trump did his speech yesterday. I just want to give a little critique of that. He says affordability is a hoax still, although he just says it's a hoax because they're the ones that did it and he's the one that's fixing it. But it's not he's doing what Joe Biden did, Donald Trump, at this point. He's just making exactly the same mistake that Joe Biden did. And exactly the same reason that Donald Trump won and Biden Harris lost is why Republicans are just going to get destroyed if things stay the way they are. He didn't make any proposals for how he's going to bring prices down. He doesn't admit that prices have gone up since he became president, which they have. He talked about gas prices. He talked about the stock market. Stock market's up. Gas prices are down. It's true. But everything else is more expensive, especially healthcare, which I think is going to ruin everyone, including small businesses that have to pay for healthcare for people. I think it's just going to blow up everything. The Democrats don't have a good solution for healthcare, but they have a solution. The Republicans or Donald Trump is suggesting to give people money instead of extending the subsidies. But he's talking about giving people like $1,000 and telling them to go out and buy their own health insurance. And I don't know for sure, but if you want to buy your own health insurance and you don't have an employer that provides a plan, I think you have to. The only way I'm aware of to do that is through the Obamacare marketplace. If you're uninsured and you don't work for an employer that it has an insurance plan, I believe you have to go to Obamacare. And so I don't understand the proposal. It's not going to help anybody to give them $1,000, except if they're still going to be uninsured. A bunch of people are going to lose their insurance because I've heard the stories. Lots of news organizations are interviewing people. People's prices are going up 100% or more. And so a bunch of people, they say it's going to be 4 million people are going to stop paying for health insurance if they don't extend the subsidies. And the subsidies must cost a lot because if these people's rates double, let's say the rate was $300 a month and it goes to $600 a month, well, $1,000 isn't going to help much. The Republican plan or Donald Trump's plan to just give people money. If your rate goes up $300, $400, $500, $600, $700, $800 a month, then $1,000 to go buy your own health insurance, which you have to do, I think, through the Obamacare website anyway. What's that going to buy you? A couple months of insurance, maybe. I mean, what's that? That doesn't help anybody. So they say 4 million people are going to drop off. And the problem is you got to make it's going to spiral. Health insurance is going to spiral because people will drop off, stop paying. Everybody else's rates will have to go up because the only people left with health insurance are going to be sick, fatty oldies, cancer people. The only people who are going to pay are going to be people that have to pay because they're getting some kind of value more than what they're paying. So it's all the healthy people are going to drop off and stop paying. Everybody who's left is going to have to pay more. And that's going to be on Obamacare, and that's going to be employers too. So more and more people are going to not be able to afford it, and they're going to drop off. And then it's going to increase the expenses even more for everybody else who has cancer, or they're fat, or they're sick, until you just have sick people, and then they won't be able to afford it either. And then, like, the entire system is just going to blow up, as far as I can tell. And the only answer I can think of is for a Democrat to come out and say what they said, what Bernie Sanders said, and say Medicare for all, single payer healthcare. Like, that's the solution. It's the only one I can think of. Nobody's proposed it yet, but a Democrat will in 2028 if they don't start doing it in 2026. The Republican plan, in addition to just giving people cash, which would only pay for a couple months of insurance, is for Costco or Amazon to start offering healthcare plans. That's the Republican plan. That's not just giving people cash. So they're like, even Rand Paul suggests letting Costco sell insurance nationwide. And then they can compete, and they have like 44 million members, which actually might help. But that's going to be the solution from Republicans who because it's, socialist, aren't going to go for the public option, Medicare for all. But that's the proposal from Republicans. Just so you know, I've been looking. I'm like, what is the answer? Nobody has an answer. The answer from Democrats is to extend the subsidies, but those are crazy expensive. That's trillions of dollars. And it's to extend it for 3 years. Well, what happens at the end of 3 years? Or what if they do it 2 years? What happens after 2 years? It's going to cost more and more and more every single time. The government's already $38 trillion in debt. So as far as I can tell, that's going to be the biggest issue, maybe already going into 2026. And the government is going to shut down again at the end of January if they don't work something out. So we're going to have another government shutdown, I guess. And they're going to blame Republicans because Democrats are just proposing spending a lot of money, which would help for a while. But I mean, things are getting more expensive. Insurance plans are more expensive. People can't afford houses because of the insurance and the taxes, in addition to the mortgage rates. So Trump wants to reduce interest rates. He wants to appoint somebody who's going to reduce interest rates, but that just creates more inflation. He's giving tax breaks. That creates more inflation. All of the solutions create more inflation. So the only thing that's going to help with inflation is a depression or a recession. And actually, that's probably why gas is cheap, because we're already in a recession, except for AI. It's probably because there's less demand and that we're actually already in a recession and nobody knows it yet. That's how prices go down. You have to reduce demand. You don't reduce demand by lowering interest rates or giving people more money. That creates demand. That makes more inflation. So yeah, the Fed dropped interest rates 25 basis points today. Stocks didn't really react much to it. I think silver was up again today. Silver was up again today, and it's up even more overnight. I bought a little today. I bought some today. The stock, SLV. It went up today. It's been going up like crazy, which is also maybe a sign of the apocalypse. So let me play a video for you. Ray Dalio, who's like a really smart billionaire, is predicting that we might have a depression. I might actually have that. Clip. So let me see if I can find it. He's predicting something worse than a recession. He's been predicting this for a while because of debt cycles. We created a central bank. We have fractional reserve banking. So we have debt cycles that run everything. Right now, we're at the end or in the middle of the biggest debt cycle of all time. Seems like people have more personal debt. Companies have more debt. AI is all based on debt. Mortgage debt is the highest it's ever been. And eventually, if we're not at the end yet, it will end. Many people theorize right now that it will never end. That's what people are counting on who are buying stocks and buying Bitcoin, maybe even who are buying silver and gold, but less so because those are real things. They're counting on it going on forever. So let me play an educational video for you about what it's like having the world reserve currency. Okay.
As the country becomes the largest international trading empire, its transactions can be paid with its currency, making it the preferred global medium of exchange. And because their currency is so widely accepted and frequently used, people around the world want to save in it, making it the preferred storehold of wealth, and thus the world's leading reserve currency. The guilder was the world's main reserve currency when the Dutch led world trade, the pound was when the British led, and the dollar has been since the US led. Naturally, China's currency is increasingly being used as a reserve currency. Having a reserve currency enables the empire to borrow more than other countries. That advantage is huge. Think about it. People all over the world are eager to save and hence lend back their currency to the empire. Countries without a reserve currency don't have that. And when the empire runs out of its own money, remember the United States in 1971? They can always print more. The exorbitant privilege afforded by the empire's reserve currency leads borrowing to increase and the beginning of a financial bubble. This series of cause and effect relationships, leading to mutually supportive financial, political, and military powers, bolstered by the borrowing power of a reserve currency, have gone together since history began to be recorded. All the empires that became the most powerful in the world followed this path to the top.
Okay. It's not the whole video, but I think you get the idea. We have the global reserve currency. We dominate everything. It is not backed by anything, although it is kind of backed by oil and guns, mostly by guns. We'll just blow people up. We control trade routes, and now we intercept boats filled with oil. Apparently, we're keeping it. So this is what we do. We enforce with guns and violence. We are the leader in violence, or at least we're capable of it. So we spend more money than anybody on our military to back the dollar, which is based on nothing and can be printed out of thin air. Eventually, though, as you can see, the guilder and the pound are no longer the world reserve currency, even though they once were. Eventually, the debt cycle spirals out of control and you lose it. So, and like I said, we're either in the middle or at the end. We might be close to the end. It's at least we're at the most ever, most debt of all time. Government, personal, corporate. Most ever. Credit cards, buy now, pay later loans, 95% of Black Friday purchases were made on credit, 65% of which people didn't plan to pay back for at least 30 days. So that's the story. AI is mostly made on debt right now. NVIDIA is worth $5 trillion. People borrow money. It's a crazy story, actually. If NVIDIA blows up, like Enron and WorldCom did at the end of the dot-com bubble, like, hold your Bitcoin. I mean, because it's going to be dropping very fast, along with it, probably everything, even gold and silver. I mean, when it hits the fan, everything hits the fan. Everybody's selling anything that isn't nailed down. Gold is probably safest, in my opinion, but it could go down too because people might need cash at that point to cover their debts. But that's why gold has gone up, you could argue, so much, is that people want something without a risk that's not debt. That's all. So the Fed said they're not going to raise rates or lower rates much next year. They said they're going to lower rates 1/4 of a point, which isn't much. And then maybe 1/4 of a point after that, and then they're going to stop entirely. Trump wants to appoint somebody who will lower rates to like 0. But that's just to make we want to lower interest rates to make our own interest expenses lower because we have so much debt in dollars. We have so much dollar denominated debt that Trump and others want to lower interest rates just to make our interest expense lower, because right now we pay more for interest on our own debt than we do for almost anything else. It's like $1 trillion a year, which is as much as we spend on our guns, which is as much as we spend on Medicare or Social Security. It's almost our largest expenses to the debt. So people say that we're just going to lower the interest rate just to make our interest expenses lower and then inflate the currency till forever and somehow get out of it. I just don't know. So that's the plan. That's why people say buy things. And you should be buying things regularly. I would say don't buy it all at once, but you should be buying things that are scarce and have proven to have value over time. Bitcoin, gold, silver, a little bit at a time, knowing that the price may go way down in the future. So have some cash, in my opinion. But I'm not a financial advisor and I'm stupid in a lot of ways when it comes to money. I did do really well with Bitcoin over time. But it could go down. But buying some regularly, dollar cost average, probably a good idea. Even big stocks like Google, Tesla, whatever. Those are companies that are leading the way in AI and technology. So I want to own some Google eventually. So there's economic news for you guys. Donald Trump on the economy, in case you missed it. Okay. Republicans won, or Democrats won in Miami and Georgia. And no Democrat had won in Miami for 30 years. And apparently the last Republican won by some stupid margin. So some lady who's apparently a socialist, that's what people say. That's what everybody says nowadays. Won in Miami, even though a Democrat hadn't won forever and a lady had never won. So Republicans have lost every race. I mean, right now it looks like they're going to hold the Senate, but the House is probably totally officially screwed unless something changes drastically But I think things are only going to get worse for Republicans the way things are going. Just wanted to tell you what Trump's opinion is of himself and the economy.
Pretty good.
But I do want to talk about the economy, sir, here at home. And I wonder what grade you would give
A
your
plus.
economy. A plus.
Yeah, A plus, 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 plus.
Well, it's interesting.
Pretty good.
But I do want to talk about the economy, sir, here at home. And I wonder what grade you would give
A
your
plus.
economy. A plus.
Yeah, A plus, 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 plus.
Well, it's interesting.
Pretty good.
But I
There
do
you
want to
go.
talk about.
A plus, 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 5 pluses. I didn't know for sure how many it was. That's how great the economy's doing. Well, just ask a regular person who doesn't have a 401k how the economy's doing and who doesn't own property how the economy's doing and see if they agree. And that is like at least a third of people don't own stocks. If you have owned stocks, you're doing well. If you have owned real estate, you're doing pretty well, although that's starting to roll over. Real estate is no longer going up in value. We seized a vessel off Venezuela because we're trying to overthrow that government. So that's news. We're going to keep the oil, says Donald Trump. Okay, regarding the AI future, Elon Musk says we're going to have everything we want because robots and machines will provide it to us, which I have suggested isn't a good thing because people need purpose in their lives. And so far, to this point, people have found purpose in their lives because they have to fend for themselves and somehow figure out how to eat, sleep, and clothe themselves, and then find a mate and so forth. They have to compete somehow with each other for survival in a way, even though we do it in a very friendly way. We just make money now. But over the entire history of humanity, we have always had to compete for resources. Elon Musk suggests, and we find meaning in work, productive work. And if you want to make this show productive work, let me remind you, buy our t-shirts at truthclothing.io or go to buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil and leave me some coffees. It's still competitive, even if I don't make money, but making money makes it realer. And I do have to pay for the technology to support the show. So we appreciate that. Elon Musk was saying it as if it's a good thing that we will have everything we want. It would disrupt the entire evolutionary, everything we've ever known would be disrupted if that happens. If suddenly we could have everything we want, and we'd probably go extinct. He finally said that actually that could be a problem. So here he is on a podcast saying that actually that he would like to slow down. So let me just play that. He finally is admitting that even though that sounds great, maybe it's not that great. So let me play it.
Said in the future that no one's going to need to worry about money or work because AI is going to take care of the rest, AI and robotics. What do you mean that people won't have to work in the future?
Assuming the current trend of artificial intelligence and robotics continues, which seems likely, the AI and robots will be able to do anything that humans want them to do, essentially. So hopefully not more than that, but AI and robotics will be able to provide all the goods and services that anyone could possibly want. So,
but you wouldn't need to work? Like, what would you do with your free time?
people will be able to do whatever they want with their free time. Work will be optional. I just want to separate out from like what I wish would happen versus what I predict will happen, because people get confused about that. They think that what I predict will happen is what I want it to happen.
Yeah.
What I predict to happen is not the same as what I want to happen. If I could, I would certainly slow down AI and robotics, but I can't. It seems to be, well, it's advancing at a very rapid pace, whether I like it or not.
Is AI what keeps you up at night?
It used to be. At this point, I don't know. I wouldn't say there's nothing particularly keeping me up at night right now, except that. But if you say where do I wake up in nightmares? Oh, AI, yeah. I've had a lot of AI nightmares. I had AI nightmares many days in a row. What am I supposed to do about it?
That reminds me of the guys that came back from the moon and were like really depressed. He's like, yeah, everybody can have whatever they want. And he's like sad about it. And then he's like, yeah, it's just what's going to happen. That's not what I want to happen. Why wouldn't you want everybody to have whatever they want? Think about it. He looks really sad. And he said he's having nightmares about AI, but he can't control it. It's out of the box. It's true. It's going to happen. There's no stopping it. No matter what anybody tries to do, it's going to happen. So anyway, we might go extinct. There's a substantial percentage chance that we'll go extinct because we won't have a reason to live anymore. So anyway, good point. Sir says, even when everybody can have whatever they want, nobody wants a Cybertruck. Well, people drive those stupid things. So anyway, that's him talking about that. I can play you video. It's just a product that's coming out. Google has announced new glasses. They look kind of weird. Do you want to see them? I don't know if we'll all be wearing something like this in the future or not. You want to see them? Google says they're going to build glasses. Much more, what do they call it? AR? Augmented reality. Way more augmented reality than Facebook glasses or Meta glasses. I can show you the preview for them.
Let's give you a tour. The first thing you see when you put it on is the real world around you through transparent lenses. That's called optical see-through, since you see the world with your own eyes. Project Aura then projects virtual experiences into your field of view. You use hands to interact, just like an Android XR headset.
She looks like a blind
it's
person.
Super intuitive to pick up and start using.
It's powered by a tethered puck, which holds the main compute and battery, so these immersive glasses still feel light and comfortable. And the puck also doubles as a trackpad.
I can use Aura anywhere to get things done. Let's imagine I'm out at a cafe getting a few things done while I grab a coffee. Aura runs apps from Google Play, just like a headset. So I can make my own full-size workspace, something people love to use external devices for. I can pop on some entertainment over here to the left, pull up my chats to the right. Voila! It's like I got my personal setup anywhere I go.
Andrea has her computer, but in places like this, sometimes you wish you had a little more screen real estate when you're away from your typical monitor setup. And because the lenses are transparent, she can still clearly see her computer while she's wearing the glasses.
And looks like I'm getting a ping from work in another window. All right, time to use Lightroom, but I want to do this on a big screen. So I can also plug Aura into another device like my laptop here and extend its apps to my screen as a giant spatial window. Here's Lightroom, and I can use my keyboard and trackpad from the computer. Of course, Gemini is here by my side in Project Aura 2 and can see what's on the screen, even the computer window, and offer help. Gemini, how can I add a bokeh effect to this image?
Go to the lens blur panel. Click Apply to let AI auto-detect the subject. Then use the blur amount slider to adjust the strength of the blur.
XRL Aura lets Andrea stay totally focused on this immersive experience in this pair of wired XR glasses.
Making a few edits here, and done.
Nice. We can't wait for everyone to check out these experiences and more when Project Aura launches next year.
So that's coming out next year. So people were wearing those big giant Apple things. So that's like they've reduced the size pretty much of the big giant Apple things to something that looks like you're blind and insane because you're going like this and you're wearing these big bulky sunglasses. But people might wear them at your local coffee shop. You have to carry a big puck with you, but we'll see. So that's the future, everybody. So we talk about the future here. That is one of the things we talk about and try to predict. Oh, I did have that clip. I do have the clip of Ray Dalio, the guy whose video I played of the monetary thing. I do have it. So I'll play it for you. I'll play you some AI stuff. I have Bill Gates talking about AI. He says African farmers. Let me play that. African farmers are going to have AI and they're going to become food producers, supposedly. So this is Bill Gates' plan. Oh, it's too quiet. Oh, it's too quiet. I can tell. He says all Africans are going to have AI, which they'll learn from. It's going to teach them how to farm. They're going to have genetically engineered seeds to make them heftier crops. And they're going to become exporters of food, according to Bill Gates. Most of it using AI, but some of it using genetically modified seeds and animals too. Genetically modified seeds and animals. So they can start growing food and becoming a food exporter. Okay, finally, this is Ray Dalio. He seems really smart to me. He thinks China is going to be the next world power in most of his theories. He taught his children he made sure his children learn Chinese because he thinks Chinese are going to be the next world power. I'm not sure if that's true. I think America can hold on to it, but anyway, here's what he says he thinks is going to happen.
I think that right now we are at a decision-making point and very close to a recession. And I'm worried about something worse than a recession if this isn't handled well. A recession is 2 negative quarters of GDP, and whether it goes slightly there, we always have those things. We have something that's much more profound. We have a breaking down of the monetary order. We are going to change the monetary order because we cannot spend the amounts of money, so we have that problem. And when we talk about the dollar and we talk about tariffs, we have that. We are having profound changes in our domestic order, how ruling is existing, and we're having profound changes in the world order. Such times are very much like the 1930s. I've studied history, and this repeats over and over again. So if you take tariffs, if you take debt, if you take the rising power challenging the existing power, if you take those factors and look at the factors, those changes in the orders, the systems, are very, very disruptive. How that's handled could produce something that is much worse than a recession.
There you go. So I just want to leave you with good news every show. We deliver black pills and we make them appetizing. So that's your last one today. All right. So thanks, everybody. We'll see you at the next show tomorrow. Might be a little early because the football game is going to be on later in the day. So might be a 3:00 show tomorrow if the pattern holds. We'll see if it's going to be a good game or not. I don't know who's playing. but 3:00 often on Mondays and Thursdays because we watch the football game sometimes. So anyway, tomorrow we'll see you. We'll give you more news. Maybe it won't be about Candace Owens tomorrow. Just look forward to that. Maybe I'll just lead with a real news story tomorrow. What do you think about that? Would that be what you prefer? Oh, let me check my coffees. I didn't see any notifications. I'm scared. We're having problems here. We're doing okay, but we don't get any super chats, which is how we get our no tax on tips. So if you want to support the show, remember you can buy t-shirts. People have been doing that, so thank you, but we're eventually going to sell out of those. Remember to support your podcaster because, like I said, we do have genuine expenses. At buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil. You can go to Cash App, $ LTV411. I can show that. Let's try to get this thing working anytime, even after the show's over. And then we'll try to bring back super chats. We have an application in. All right. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Appreciate you guys. Good seeing you. And for now, that's what it is.